motorcycle sounds and shit.
Who playing video games?
What the heck?
I heard that joke too.
Hey.
Anthony, how do I get it back on? Hit participant.
Hey, Glenn, man, we should start riding next week, man.
No, I'm playing golf next week myself.
Anthony, you the host now, sir.
I know, it's already recording. Hey, Derek, what's up, man? I'm about to go give me one. Go give me Street Glide.
Hey, I'm ready. I just put some new speakers, new handlebars, new radio. I didn't change some more stuff.
You already had the monkey bars, right?
Yeah, but I had another radio and some speakers in the back.
Yeah, I know we live, right?
In the storage. Okay, then Craig ain't start.
Ain't start yet.
We got people on this John watching.
5, 4, 3.
Hey, what's up, Facebook family? What's the deal? It's on Wildcast Podcast. All right, we about to start in 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second.
Oh my goodness!
We on Negro time.
You know what I'm saying?
Executive producer.
I'm trying to share the live. Can I share the live video? Let me share the live video.
No, man, just get started.
Oh, Teddy Riley, hey.
Right. Daggone had Babyface apologizing for him.
The greatest people he had.
They had like 500,000 people watching and they get it right. God, damn.
Here we go.
Babyface. Go ahead.
All right, so we are back at it. It's some Wildcast Podcast, and I am Craig Black, and it's the podcast that's so damn good. Only some Wildcats can do it. And we coming to you live from the Zoom verse and in the building. I got my family as always. My man Anthony, aka Ant, aka Agent Asshole, aka the producer that he got to produce every goddamn thing. What's up, Ant?
What's up, Teddy? Craig. How you doing, man?
That dude need to get his internet together. He froze in time. Also got my man Keith, aka Cat Daddy, Keith, aka Keith the Freak. What's up, Keith?
Black.
And also got my man Big G, a.k.a. Glenn, a.k.a. he spells his name with 2 N's. What's up, Glenn?
What's up, Black?
And I got my man, the brother minister, a.k.a. Big Al. You need to understand, this man is not a racist, okay? You need to understand that. My man Big Al, what's up?
We live, baby, we live.
And in the building, we got Money, a.k.a. the Waller, a.k.a. the sponsor, my dude, Dirk.
What's up, Black?
Dirk?
I don't understand why you always announce me last, but what's up, Black ass?
I was thinking
the
that
bills,
the sponsors.
we ain't got. All right, let me break it down for the peoples, man. This podcast is about us and our friendship over the last 35, 40, 45, 50 years. And it's about the topics we want to cover, because we don't give a goddamn about what you think. It's all about what we think. And Keith, there you go. Right there, Keith. Right there. All right.
My man.
So, I got to lay the rules of the road real quick. The rules of the road, okay? My man Anthony, he would have a heart attack if I don't put the legals out there. Okay. All right. So they use your likeness on all our outlets. So we're recording right now. So if you don't want to be a part of that, you might want to hide your screen. Okay. You can do all that. All right. And you can also jump in the conversation. So if you want to be a part of this conversation, all you got to do is hit us up on our Facebook page. And my man Keith will bring you to the conversation. He'll send you the link and you can jump right in, ask all the questions you need to. If you're not going to be saying anything, please mute your microphones. We don't need all that background noise and all that. And if you want to streak, fellas, you better not streak with none of that nasty stuff. But ladies, do what you do. We appreciate it. Do what you do, ladies, okay? All right. All right, so this Zoom-verse version of the Some Wildcats podcast, we got a special guest. Another Wildcat is here. I got my papers together. I got to introduce this dude the right way. My man, Les Bailey. Now, he's been doing single-family, multi-family, and commercial loans full-time and part-time for the last 30 years. Yeah, he old. He's graduated from North Carolina A&T University with a degree in finance. He also has an MBA in finance, all right? He actually owned Advocate Mortgage and Quest Title for 8 years, and he was a licensed real estate agent as well, all right? He currently does financing for single-family and multi-family and investor loans. He's currently a hard money lender. I need to understand exactly what that is. I need to get into that real deep. And Les is also currently an IT project manager and a Scrum Master and an ITIL with ITIL certification. What the hell is a Scrum Master?
Just keep going, Craig. Just keep going.
Too technical.
Les has worked in real estate, consulting positions, and information technology real estate, and related to Fannie Mae, consultant for HUD, KPMG, ITT, Financial Services, Freddie Mac, Geico. Les is the financial guru, and he's here right now to talk about real estate investing in this current climate, what's going on with this whole coronavirus. So Les Bailey, I've got my first question for you, man. In this climate that we're in right now, sir, is it a good market to try to buy a home?
Excellent.
Real simple, not hard at all. Break
Great
it down for
question, Craig. Great question.
Right.
I appreciate that. I want to start with that lead. So this is an exceptional market if you have the capability to purchase a home. Because as we know, unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, unfortunately, a lot of people that are out of work. The market has shrank for the amount of supply of the purchasers that we actually had. So right now, if you are available and if you can, this is the time to buy. However, if unfortunately for you, if you need to sell to buy, you're going to take the same hit on your sale that you're about to hit somebody on your purchase. Okay. So, however,
what does that mean? Take that same hit. What does that mean?
What I was getting to was, for example, right now, if you are looking to buy a single family home, a townhouse, anything of that nature, this same house, maybe 5 months ago, before the virus really hit, because there was so much demand out here for purchasers. Let's use 300,000 as an example. The townhouse was listed at 300,000. You might have had 10 or 11 contracts coming in trying to buy, saying, hey, I'll buy with minimal or no closing costs. But now, all those people are probably gone because the fact that you might only have 2 or 3 that have stable, strong jobs that still are paying them, that they're not scared. Where instead of having 10 contracts, you only have 1 or 2. So what happened? Just like you learned in college, that's supply and demand. As supply slides and as demand slides, it changes in price, right? So now you have that same house that was going to go at December for 300,000 that I might could get now for 282,000, which that seller has just lost. That seller has just lost $28,000 by accepting that contract. So that's what I mean. So this is now what you call that you all hear on the news. This is a buyer's market instead of a seller's market during this depressed time.
Okay. All right. I got you. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Now, I just wanted to bring up one fact about this. Well, even though it's a buyer's market, the whole risk categories on being available to purchase by you getting money from a lender has totally changed. A lot of the programs that we had available that I could have done for a person with a 590 score or a 620 credit score are all right now put on pause. Even FHA raised their credit standards to a 650. And unfortunately in our environment, I know, 650 is kind of high, believe it or not, for a lot of the people that, that we work with in this community because of the jobs and because of credit and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times that they have developed cut right now. You all know homeowners, most people start with FHA or only need 5% down, but a lot of lenders have changed their standards, which is really hurting anyone trying to get qualified.
Is that for your primary residency, or is that for even as well for the second home, or you trying to purchase, or even to flip it?
So what I'm giving you, that's primary resident.
Ooh.
You're right. Investor is even worse. So anytime you hear anything that transponds into a primary, you can imagine it's much more worse for anything investor or secondary home.
So what about are they giving a better rate because of the fact that you have to have this higher down payment?
Yes. Well, the good thing is right now, and so every time you all hear that the bank, when you hear Donald Trump and them and they're like, oh yeah, they're decreasing the rate. That rate is not the rate that impacts mortgages, right? That's the rate that the bank borrows. The bank borrows this money to lend to all of us, but from a banking standpoint. What you all need to focus on and pay attention to and understand is that 10-year treasury. Mortgages are based on 10-year treasury. Just about maybe a month ago, it skyrocketed to 10.7, which was astronomical. But to give you an example of what I mean, rates that Friday were a 3.25. When that 10-year bond hit, when they identified that the virus was just slamming the country, it went to a 12%. So it went from 8 to 12%, but it took the rates to almost 5%. However, right now, unfortunately for us, with some of the, by us meeting the curve on the coronavirus and we're doing better when we're wearing masks, rates have come back down. An FHA rate as of Friday was roughly about between 3.375 to about 3.5%. So right now, rates are doing good if you can qualify.
I got another question. I know it's a lot of people out here probably have the same question. Suppose you are, you out of work right now and you're not able to pay your mortgage right now. How would you handle that with your mortgage, and what would needs to be done if you out of work to make sure you're not, your credit and everything is being upside down? And
excellent question. Well, so we all know, and we've been hearing on the news that the stimulus package was put out there to help protect. Supposedly, the president within that package said everyone can get a 90-day reprieve for paying their mortgage, which they call that a forbearance. Now, here's the question. I've gotten at least 250 calls just within the last few days. Now, in the stimulus package, it does say that it's supposed to be a forbearance. But as you all hear, the government doesn't really they do not give standards and policy and procedures to the banks. So it's on the interpretation of the bank. So what you want to do, if you're out of a job, or even if your wife is out of a job, or you just have some financial times because of this, you want to call your lender. But each lender is different. And every lender puts it out there that they are doing something for the stimulus package. However, you need to call and give them the right information. Just like I was explaining to Anthony just last week, you have to say the right thing, because the lender does not honestly want to totally help everybody, because when they don't get payments from us as a customer, they have to take that out of their till to still pay that MBS for you. So what's going to happen is when you call, most of the time they're going to say, oh, well, we can wrap up those 3 payments, and when you get your job back in 3 months, come on, let's say your mortgage payment is $2,000 a month. They're going to say, oh yeah, well, at the end of the 3 months, just give us $6,000. If you're unemployed, if you're having financial troubles, you and I know you're not coming up with $6,000. Okay? So the second part of the stimulus package is this. They're going to say, well, hey, you can spread it out. We'll give you the opportunity to pay us back within 6 months. That's a stretch too, because $6,000 divided by 6 months, everybody, on top of your mortgage payment is a lot of money.
On top,
so,
yeah.
On top of the payment.
They ain't like they put it on the back end or nothing like that.
But that's what I'm about to get to, because Craig, see, the part of the stimulus package supposed to give all of us as U.S. citizens 3 options. However, they didn't force the banks to follow that policy that they wrote. So now you ask the bank, you say, hey, Mr. Bank, this is the option that I want. And this is what you all have to remember to ask for. I want to get a forbearance, and I would like to have my 3 months missed payments put on the back of my loan, which will not be due until the day I sell my property, or if I refinance or whatever, then that interest will be on top. That's what you want to ask these banks, because a lot of the banks are not going to give you that opportunity, or they're not going to propose that to you. They're only going to propose those first 2 options. So that's why you want to say, I would like to get a full forbearance on the interest that I didn't pay. And if you could put that on the back of my loan. And the reason this will work for you all, because first thing you're going to say is, oh, well, my mortgage go up. Yeah, your mortgage is going to go up. Let's use the $2,000 a month by $6,000. However, over the next whatever years until you ever refinance or pay it off, your appreciation of your home will pick that up for you. So over time, you will not lose. You will not lose. Now, if you know you could pay back quickly, yes, go ahead and do one of the first 2 options. But I know, and the customers that most of the time I get calls, 95% of them nowhere near can do that first 2 options.
Okay, it's a Wildcast podcast coming to you live from the Zoom verse. I got my man Les Belly. We're talking real estate. We're talking mortgages. Les, I gotta ask this question about the policies in the government and the bank. Why in this climate? Why is it still going on that the government is letting the banking system govern itself with all the BS that's gone on in the last 10 to 20 years with our whole banking system? Why is the government still letting the banks do what the hell they want to do? Why are they regulating themselves?
Well, you really answered your own question. The banks regulate the market. The banks regulate politics. Think about it. I want y'all to think about this. Let's just use Bank of America. They made a profit last year. Gross was 30 billion. I want to say net profit 7 or 8. I wish Tony was on the line. He would know accounting. So you think about it. But who just applied for small business loans, you all? Who are the ones that got the small business loans? People who made profits.
That's what I'm saying. It's a bunch of bullshit, man. Come on now.
But unfortunately, it's been like this since the day of time. The rich get richer and the poor get poor. As you've seen on the news, all the small companies, they weren't even getting responses back from the small business association. But you got companies like Ruth Chris, who made 37% profit last year, applied, and they were able to get $22 million loan. You have, all these other companies, local restaurants and local medium-sized companies who got this money, who made 30, 40% over the last 5 or 6 years. So I can't address why, but unfortunately it's happening. And it's the same now. The same as this mortgage game, like I just told you. This is when this is the time when we need the government to back us, right? If me and my wife are strong enough still to go find a little house right now, why would they raise the credit risk to 650 when it was only at the 620? But that 650 might have knocked me and her out because maybe she had a few lates on her student loan. Maybe I lost my job 2 years ago and I'm just getting myself back. But why push that on me when I'm going to still make that mortgage payment if I have a job or not? But that's what we all go through, unfortunately. And there's nothing we could really do about it. But that's where it comes to all of us to remember, this is why you vote. This is why you vote. Because we were given the right to vote. And think about it, most of us, if you really understand history, we didn't even vote until 1972 to get the right. In 1972, I was already 5 years old. So this is why.
Telling his age.
Yeah, I just think about it. Why you
some of us wasn't born until 72.
I was just born.
You're right, and my brother was just born. You know what I mean? But this is why, because this is where things are controlled. So from a financial climate like that, Craig, I really can't tell you, why is it, why do the big banks and all that get everything? But as you see, I mean, that's the perfect example. I admit the stimulus package, when I saw $2 trillion, I was like, oh, great, everybody's going to be saved. But then at the same time, when they pass it over to banks and the banks make their own decision on who gets what, when, and how, you're like, here we go again. Half that money wasn't spent the way that it was intended, or they push it to us on CNN every day.
All right. So it's Les Belly hanging out with us on some Wildcats podcast, and we're talking real estate, we're talking home loans, and we're jumping on these bam-ass banks right now, regulating themselves, doing what they want to do. I got another question, Les.
Okay.
Refi a loan right now, your mortgage. Is it a good move? I got this question from my man Glenn. Is it a good move right now to refi your mortgage, trying to clean up all your credit card bills right now? Is it a good move for you to do that right now?
Well, and this is my example that I have so I'm going to have to look down some as I speak. But this is the best time if you can. And let me tell you some of the factors that you have to be able to meet to call someone like me to refinance. First thing, you have to have some equity in your home, which, you have to find what equity you have. Secondly, you have to have credit. As I just explained to you all, credit standards have been increased. Mm-hmm. And third thing, you have to have a job that's going to be fulfilled. Now they're really checking. They're making you sign forms that say, due to this coronavirus, are you going to be capable to make your mortgage? You can't know that you're getting laid off in 2 weeks and do that. Now that will be against the law. So, but this is the best time because I'm going to give you an example. I have many customers, and I just refinanced someone not too long ago, where I'm going to give you the example. This person, and this is normal for us in this environment, given the fact that we have kids in private school, kids in college. We all live in areas where the average mortgage payment is from $2,000 to $3,000. Many of us do not have guaranteed government jobs, so you go back and forth from consulting, but sometimes you get laid off, you don't, and stuff like that. But this person had some Visa cards. One Visa was like $8,000, which we all know that don't sound like a lot to run up $8,000. They had another little installment loan for $4,200 where they helped their high school kid go on a trip in high school, cost like $4,000. And they had another credit card for $5,000, right? So as you know, A12, that's $17,000. They were paying at that time $840 a month every month. And I remember this guy always calling me, Les, man, how can you help me I need to do something about my 401k. I got me. He didn't have that much in his 401k. He kept saying, man, I'm hurting. I don't know what I'm going to do. He's like 50 years old. He's looking to retire in only 15 years. We said, well, look, you have the equity in your home. You have the credit. He was able to consolidate $17,000 in debt that was running him $800 a month. And we all know, everybody, if you send him that minimum, you owe him $8,000 and you send him $300 a month, we all know that payment not going nowhere for these 15 years. So we're sitting here not, when I get that call from people and they say, oh, well, I was going to pay my card off in 3 years. I hate to be negative. I'm like, well, I'm looking at your credit. You haven't paid it off in 7 now, so what's the difference? You know what I mean? And that's what you have to look at, because we all know this stuff come up. So consolidating this guy's credit, do you know it only made his mortgage payment go up by $125? But now, on the flip side, guess what he did? Now that he's saving that over $800 a month right there that he was paying, he's now went to his 401k. He's doing $600 a month in the 401k, getting his match for $300. So now, everyone, he's saving $900 a month in his 401k. So in the next 15 years, he's going to have $157,000 saved in his 401k. And if you compound that at just a 5% rate, that'll get him $286,000. So think about how fast that money goes. And you and I all know we can pay a credit card for the next 10 years without blinking. I mean, because a lot of us have done it. We paid cards and just kept paying and paying and paying until you get lucky and get some crazy bonus on your check, or somebody in your family pass away and leave you something. But most of us really don't have other opportunities to actually do it. So that's the example, Glenn. And right now, mortgage rates, like I said, from 3.25%, depending if it's conventional, to maybe 3.5%, depending on where you are for cash out and all that FHA. This is the best time to refinance and get rid of debt if you can. If you have a job, if you have equity, and if you have a decent credit score. Unfortunately, you can't have those bad credit scores like you used to.
Okay. Hey, Les, I got a quick question for you. This is from one of your fellow Aggies, Carrington Carter. He wants to know, as a landlord, what options are out there for landlords to ensure mortgages are met without me coming out of my pocket?
Got you. Okay. Well, that was supposed to be in the second part of the stimulus package, Aggie. Unfortunately for us right now, they haven't put that out there. Now, as an investor, the same. I will call my servicer for them, and I would show them or tell them that I am not getting paid from my tenants. Because why? As you see, tenants are going on strike in New York, DC. Tenants have been told that they don't have to make payments because of the fact that, remember, we're supposed to trickle down, and us as landlords, we're supposed to be able to go to our lenders. Again, that policy is not written in stone from the federal government to the lending side. So unfortunately for us, some lenders are giving us as investors the opportunity to defer our payments. And even though we're not getting rent, but some lenders are holding us to that. So from our standpoint, I don't know if you will have the money. You will get to write that off as your loss next year. But at the same time, you don't have a lot of choices. But I would directly say, call my lender, provide them a good case, tell them that you're not getting paid because of the fact that most renters have heard through CNN and through the government that they don't have to pay for the next 90 days. But what tenants, and this is a good thing to bring up even for you renters out here. Remember what they said, 90 days. I can't take you to court to evict you, but at the end of 90 days, you can get evicted unless you have all my money to catch up. So I want you to remember this. Some landlords right now are playing renters because some landlords want people out. So you remember, all because he's being quiet, he's letting you not make his payments. At the end of them 90 days, don't forget, he can say you didn't pay, and he can put you out. So some people, don't forget, you're in areas that a landlord might want you out because he want to get much higher rent. So he'll absorb this loss for now. So everybody understand, know what you're in, know exactly what you're doing before you make these financial moves.
So right after that 90 days, they're gone, they're done.
Done now. Unless the government gives us something like else. Right. What the government said was everybody gets a 90-day deprived for making rent payments. However, what he meant was that a landlord cannot take you to court. So, Craig, if I want to take you to court right now, Maryland's not going to allow me to come down there to tenants court. But guess what? April, May, and June 30th, I can have you right in tenants court and say, Your Honor, Craig hasn't paid me in 90 days. He can say, Craig, do you have the ability to pay him? Do you have the money? And when you say no, now I can evict you. And that's the trick that people are missing on.
All right. So we're talking to my man Les Bailey. We're talking real estate, home mortgages, financing, and trying to make sure you're right during this pandemic. And he's giving some good advice right now. I'm gonna ask one last question before we let you go, Mr. Bailey. This comes from my man Glenn once again. We all have parents that are getting older. How do we protect our parents regarding reverse mortgages? What should we know before we ever consider a reverse mortgage?
Well, let me tell you what my feelings are on reverse mortgage first, okay? Now, this is from, I know we have many different races that went to Northwestern, many. However, I'm going to use me as example.
Shout out to Rich Sullivan. He's a Caucasian.
From the black community, what do we need to all do, everyone? We need to maintain as much assets as we can to do what? Pass to the next generation, correct? So given that, you have to watch those reverse mortgages and what you want to do, if anything. A lot of times people don't realize that because your mother, father, aunt, uncle, they get retirement checks. And sometimes you just got to help them balance what they're paying for. A lot of times they don't owe that much on these mortgages. So sometimes you can say, hey, mom, you know what? Let me call so-and-so. Maybe you get your mortgage from $1,500 a month down to $800. Now your mother's Social Security, her retirement seems more viable to make that payment. The reason you want to do that, y'all, because we all have to be honest. Me and my brother lost our father. So, I'm not from what I don't know. Everyone's parent is going to pass away, okay? However, your goal is to have them pass that asset to you or your children. So what you want to do is talk to them, maybe do a refinance. A lot of times they can qualify. People don't even check if they can qualify. Now, if they must do a reverse mortgage, they're okay. But you got to remember this. For as long as they live there, all that money is deferred interest being held until the very, very end, until it's totally over. Then at the end of the day, when that reverse mortgage is due, the equity in that, it's getting cut in a different way, meaning this on a reverse mortgage. After, let's say your mother lives or whatever, another 15 years on that, right? You have that interest, you have all that is taken out and all these other fees. So if they don't have no other way to do it, that is a way for them not to make a payment out of their check. They can defer that mortgage payment, yes. However, a lot of times, if you really do your research and find out, it cuts into the equity way more than what it is. Even if you and your brother and your sister help, if you and your brother maybe gave your mother, let's say she's short $400 a month. If y'all gave her that $200 a month each, and it would serve you so much better because now you have this buffer of all this money at the end of 10 or 12 years. You'll easily get your $200 a month, 2,000 a year times 10 years. You'll get your $20,000 back times 4 compared to if you allowed that house to go in that reverse mortgage and it burnt up that equity within that house. And that's the only reason why I'm not against it. I'm just warning everyone out there to understand what you're doing. Maybe think as a family, call other people and see, how do we help mom get this mortgage payment, something suitable that she can afford with her Social Security, her retirement check, and dad's check that he left her. And that's what I'm saying about that. It's nothing totally wrong with it, but it does really cut into that asset that's going to be passed down to the next generation, And that's the difference between us and many other nationalities. We don't find a way to pass assets to the next generation. As they find a way, because of their longevity of success, they've had the ability to pass wealth to the next generation.
All right. Well,
yeah, thanks, Les.
Man, appreciate that, man, breaking that down.
All right.
And fellas, anybody else got another question for Les before we get up out of here? Before we let him get up out of here?
Yeah, because I'm sure
some good info.
Hey, one other thing I want to talk about on the mortgage real quick too. Watch yourself when you're out here shopping around and, doing these mortgages and all that, meaning this. Understand what you have. Understand where you are. Don't just let people tell you what you need to do. Read up a little bit. Maybe understand what, nowadays you can kind of Google your address and see what your house is worth. You can understand your credit. Google a little bit to say, hey, what are credit standards on a conventional? just understand some basis, right? And understand what you're doing. Because sometimes I do see this too. And they always call me after it's done. You can't call me when it's after. I can't go back and fix something now you done messed up. But a lot of times people don't realize what they're getting into. And then all of a sudden they say, oh, I thought I was taking care of more debt. I thought I was doing more of this and that. And they look up and they didn't pay their taxes, or they didn't consolidate all the credit cards they thought. And then they're like, you know what, Les? I only end up saving like $85 and I still got these bills out here. That's because you went to somebody that didn't explain. If you're a loan officer, and this is and everybody will tell you who knows me here, the person you talk to from a financial standpoint cannot break all this stuff down, and they get frustrated with explaining to you the most simple things that you and your wife or you and your spouse or you and your other want to ask, that's not the right loan officer for you. A loan officer or a person from a financial standpoint should have no problems talking to you an hour to even 2 hours and breaking it down as simple as it gets. I mean, from A to M, giving you every understanding that you actually need. And that's
we're losing audio on Les right now. I think we got to take Les out. His audio.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Audio really.
Hey, I got one more question for Les before you jump. Last question. Sorry, man. So for mortgage insurance, so like, you know how you refinance your house to get rid of mortgage insurance because you have equity, like 20-30% equity.
Yes.
I was trying to do that one time, and the lady tried to tell me that you can't do that no more. The new loan, you have a mortgage insurance for the whole life of the loan, so it makes no sense to refinance it because I was going to save like 0.5%.
Yeah. So what happened is, Glenn, you're right. So FHA, after you did certain loans at FHA, they do not allow you to. You used to get just easily show an appraisal, and they would eliminate your PMI, which is called private mortgage insurance. Private mortgage insurance, everyone, it insures your lender through FHA that in case you go into default and do not pay your mortgage and that house goes to foreclosure, they get a certain amount of money to help subsidize that difference when they resell it in the market. That's what happened to us in 2008 and 2010 when the market crashed. We had so many loans out here that at that time, such risky stuff that the government gave us, not the broker, but the banks, gave us the opportunity where they said, hey, you can do these loans without private mortgage insurance. And when that market crashed and there was no private mortgage insurance, that's where all those houses in our neighborhood sat for many, many years. So now everyone's really constant on private mortgage insurance. However, Glenn, the way to get out of that is because sometimes a lot of private mortgage insurance is up there, $150 to over $300 a month. $150. You can refinance that to a conventional loan. So they won't let you just send that in or refinance with FHA because of that. They're going to want to hold you there. But you can refinance it to a conventional, or if you're a veteran, flip over to a VA loan. You know, you can do any types of those type of loans, which will help you eliminate that private mortgage insurance. And you're right, that's a big amount. I mean, sometimes you think about it, $150, $200 a month. You know, if you could use that and pay that on something else, you know, that's like a car note for some folks.
Okay. All right. You good with that, Glenn?
Thanks, man.
All right. So that's my man Les Bailey, mortgage finance guru. Y'all give it up one time for Les Bailey. We appreciate you, man.
Hey, Les, how can somebody contact you if they want, you know, more questions or even get some assistance with some finance questions or even refinancing, you know, their mortgage or even a new house?
You could call me. Let me think. I don't have my Google. You can call me. I'm trying to make sure because I can't have everybody and mama calling me, but you can call me.
You put your email address.
Hey, how about you do this? You contact some Wildcats right now. You go to our inbox right now. We'll get you all Les Bailey's information. How about that? Do that. Inbox us at some Wildcats on all our platforms. We can give you all Les Bailey's information if you're trying to look to refi, to do any work with your mortgage, you want to invest in some property, or you just need some knowledge, need a consultant. You know, we'll get you to Les Bailey. All you got to do is hit us at some Wildcats. We're on IG. We're on Facebook. We on Twitter. We everywhere. So you can check us out there. All right. That's how we get them.
All right.
Appreciate you, Les. Appreciate you, Les.
Appreciate you, Les.
Hey, thanks, big home.
Anytime.
All right. So we're gonna switch gears real quick, and we'll get back to the regular show. Yes, we are. We're gonna talk some. Sports right now. We can go to sports real quick because you know everybody wants to get to the big thing that's going down. jump to the NBA G League right now because they're going for the money and the shoe contracts. So my man Keith put this topic up to us earlier in the chat room. And basically, I thought his name is Jalen Green. That's just the top. He's one of the top 3 prospects in the country right now. And I thought it was kind of smart of him not wanting to go to college, to want to get a big shoe contract and go play in the G League and make some good money to take care of him and his family. But there was some other opinion. So I'll let you go first, Keith, since this was your topic.
I was just, it was interesting to me to see that so many of these number 1 or top ranked high school basketball players were, you know, generally you would hear them go overseas if they weren't going the college route. They didn't have the grades or wasn't trying to go the school route. They would go overseas for a year and have to learn another culture or whatever. And now that the G League, well, it used to be the D League, but now it's the G League and affiliated with the NBA. Now they're being able to go there and sign a contract and make up to 500. I think it was up to 500,000 for. And I'm guessing you got to have a
385,000.
Well, what I saw with Jalen Green was 500K, but that might be because
that could be
he's
some
the number
other
1
incentives.
pick.
Yeah, that could be yeah.
And then 2 days after I said something to you guys about it, they said that he also had signed a shoe deal. Now I think this is well in favor of the athlete. But I don't think this is going to be for everybody. It's not going to be for everybody.
There we go.
It's in favor of the elite athletes. Let's put it like that.
Right.
Not for the everyday, not for the rigmarole, not for the guys, not the B players. It's mainly for the top tier A players, and that's a good move for them.
But just think about it. Just think about it. If say take the shoe contract out of the equation. So you're going to take this G League opportunity up to $385,000. So let's say that. So then now you got to pay an agent, you got to pay a management fee, and you got to pay all these other fees on there. So you probably down to about $100,000, and that's even before taxes. So I just think my opinion is I would rather go to college for 1 year and play college ball for 1 year and then come out that following year, and now I'm a lottery pick. Now I'm making millions versus just hurry up and going to the G League and making that 305 or even say 500,000.
But I think for these guys that are being able to make this jump, one of the things that Jalen Green said his benefit for doing it was that he was going to get an opportunity to play against grown men and be coached by NBA coaches and trainers. So that was part of it. But again, this is for folks.
What if he get exposed? What if he get exposed and he's not able to handle that bump?
These are not those guys. These are guys that are like your Kevin Garnett.
No. You can't never say that. You never say that. I mean,
if they're the number 1 ranked player, they're looking at these guys had the potential that they could go straight to the league. They could be one of those guys that go straight to the league from high school like they used to do. And now this is the NBA's way of kind of letting them get back in it.
Hold up,
this
Keith.
ain't for everybody.
Hold up, Keith. I'm going to let Ant jump in. I see Ant making faces and everything.
Yeah,
I'll be on the Zoomverse. So Wildcast, we're talking about people making a jump to the NBA, to the NBA G League, straight from high school to collect the money to get the shoe contract. Ant, what you think? What's your opinion, man?
Again, I totally get it. You know, the 2 factors that I think kind of goes into this decision. A lot of times these youngsters just don't want to go to school. And then the other thing is the opportunity to make some money. But I think the misconception is that the G League is just a bunch of guys that aren't good at basketball. The guys in the G League are fucking good. You know what I mean? And in most cases, they're a lot better than the dudes in college. Collectively. So again, I get it that it's for these elite athletes, it's for these selected few, but it's not an easy road. And this will be the first year that I think they kind of try this, they kind of go down this path. But I suspect that over time, you won't have a lot doing this, depending on how these youngsters fare out in this one. Because even those guys that have gone overseas over the last 2 to 3 years haven't fared well, that decided to forego their college eligibility and go overseas, haven't fared well. You know, there's a big misconception about LaMelo Ball and stuff and how good he's doing. He actually didn't do well overseas in Australia. So I kind of agree with Derek in the sense that a lot of these kids are going to possibly go over there and get exposed. Because there's some grown men out there. They're playing against some hungry grown men.
Yeah, and everybody's not going to be able to sign a shoe contract where Green, his situation might be different because we don't know what his shoe contract is, you know, for that he was able to sign. So everybody's not gonna have that opportunity to have those you know, a shoe deal and a G League salary.
Yeah, and see my point was that I think this is only going to benefit those guys that were ready to go to the league, like back in the day when you had those guys that went straight from high school straight to the league, like a Garnett, a Kobe, and those guys that they're projected to be those type of players. It's not going to work for anybody. Like Anthony said, those guys in the G League are guys that have already played 4 years of college in some cases, have been overseas and played, and they're trying to get back in the league, and they grind it. Like this, they're not gonna let no younger come in there and take money. This how they eat.
This is podcast. We're talking young prospects from high school, young phenoms jump into the G League to grab that bag and to get these shoe contracts. So let my man Al jump in here with his comments. He has a lot of stuff to say earlier about this. And when we were in our group chat, go right ahead, Al. What you got to say, man?
Pretty much, I'm really going to defer to the coaches and the people who really like involved in this, because like for me, I was just like, man, get your money. Like the college is going to get you anyway, so you might as well get your money. But you know, once you start looking deep into it, like listening to Keith and Derek and Anthony, it's like it ain't gonna be like in college. You know, you might play like we call it the University of the Sisters of the World, when you could get like 30 and look good. You go play against some grown men who want to get that trying to eat, and that's a whole different ball game. So,
right. And to be honest with you, that college life is a little different than what they're going to experience in the road of the G League. In college life, so if you're playing, I'm sorry, real quick, if you're playing in like the top Power 5 conferences and stuff, you're being chartered to and from your games and stuff. When you're in the G League, you're on a bus. You know, you stand in, you know, in the 3-star hotels and stuff. So it's not as glamorous as, you know, I'm playing in the G League and stuff. And Al, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Al.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say I'm on the fence. No, you froze. I'm sorry. That's okay. I'm just saying it. I'm just on the fence now. It's just like a wait and see on my end now. You know, it's just a wait and see.
I just think, you know, say Green, he goes in and he signs that G League. You know, I don't know if it's 1 year, 2 years. I would hope it's like at least a 2-year contract. And now he's probably stuck to a 2-year contract for the G League.
It's just a 1-year jump.
Right. Then it's a 1 year. So he's not guaranteed to say, I'm gonna move you up to the big times, which you can take the opportunity to go to college and have a longer career or even more money that you're gonna make in the long run. You're gonna make something now.
Okay,
short time, but if you look at the bigger picture, I don't think it'll be the case.
And see, this is what I'm
to each his own.
This is what I'm trying to figure out.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. It's on Wildcats Podcast. We're talking NBA prospects jumping straight from high school to the G League to play. Keith, I'm gonna real quick jump to a question. I'm gonna let you answer this question, Keith, from our Facebook Live through the Zoomverse. Shelly, Michelle Frazier is asking, what is the G League?
Go ahead, Keith, take it away.
Break it down for me.
The G League is basically the developmental league for the NBA, and it's called the G League now because it's sponsored by Gatorade, and Gatorade has now taken over, and it's affiliated. All the cities, all the teams are affiliated with some NBA team in that region that they're actually playing their home games and stuff. But it's called the G League because it's now sponsored by Gatorade. It used to be the D League for developmental league.
I'm gonna break it down like this for Nichelle as well, Shelly. The G League is the equivalent to the minor leagues in baseball. I know you understand that because she's a big baseball fan, so I know she understands that. So all right. But my point of view, once again, and I hear everybody saying that these young guys may get exposed, I'm going to defer to the system. I do not think that these teams are going to put a young prospect that is number 1, number 2, and number 3 in a position to be exposed in a bad light to ruin what they can have in their future. If they're willing to pay all this money, if they got that contract, they know there's a high ceiling for this young player. So I don't think that they're going to let that exposure come to a point where he's a straight flop, you know. But it can happen. But I think it may. I mean, if we shift this conversation over to the the scheme, because me and Glenn was talking about that. I know y'all don't want to talk nothing about the scheme, HBO special, but a lot of these players are out there and they're not making any money, and these colleges are raking in billions and billions of dollars. So it's to the point where why not? Why not go get that money and test the waters? I'm not saying give up, but test the waters.
One point, Craig.
You go right ahead.
Craig. Again, when you say these youngsters aren't making any money and stuff, man, I don't think you can always look at this in terms of a monetary value and stuff, because the experience they get and what they're getting for in that college, that's invaluable. That's the first point. The second point, I think this whole situation with these you guys, it's going to be a little interesting to see how it's handled, because the question becomes, first, how did they determine which G League affiliate that he goes to? One. Secondly, after that 1-year contract is up, is he a free agent or is he locked in with that affiliate that he's a part of? So there's some things that they're going to have to iron out. And I think to Al's point and to Derek's point, we got to kind of wait and see, because they got, this is groundbreaking. And so they got to kind of figure out how this is going to be handled and stuff. But Craig, we've already had this argument on numerous podcasts on how you feel about kids going to college, those who, playing athletes. And, I don't think you can always monetize, you can always put a dollar amount on the experience and what the kids are getting when they go to college, even if it's for that 1 year and stuff.
But even that's why the NBA is changing their policies, because they see they losing these young prospects to overseas, because they are getting paid when they go overseas. So that's why they kind of I'm saying they're making that transition to help them.
But they're losing. Like, you got to think statistically.
It could be more. It could be more.
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
You know what I mean? It could, by then, because they keep changing. First, it was like, okay, we changed it. We're doing the 2-way contracts. So now they saying, okay, now you can go straight from high school and go to the G League. Because they are losing. They're not just incoming, college entities coming into the NBA. They losing people that's in the NBA that's going to play overseas, because the money is there now.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that they're not losing anybody that they don't care about losing and stuff. It ain't nobody who, like this overseas player right now, that if an NBA team didn't call up, they wouldn't just come on that. They wouldn't just be at that team and stuff. So I don't think that's the issue that the NBA has and stuff. But I hear you.
But they changing policy for a reason.
But I think what we're going to see out of this is that the NBA is going to go back to allowing those high school players to be able to come back in. Sure. And this was their way of reintroducing that back, since now the G League is affiliated with the NBA, by letting them come in there, because they only supposed to do that 1 year and then be able to be eligible for the draft. But like Anthony said, how do you know what team?
Hey, y'all, you know what? I'm going to have to speed ball through a couple of different questions and topics. Okay. This is a good topic. We may have to revisit this in a later podcast, a later show. I think it's a great question, a great topic, and I just think the young men should get paid. That's going to always be my opinion. That's just me, okay? Before we get to the FIU Candidate of the Week, it's some Wildcats podcast. We coming to you live from the Zoomverse, and I'm going to ask a couple questions and kind of be quick with it. We go to NFL real quick. Who do you think would be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft? Would it be Tua? Would it be Joe Burrow, or Chase Young?
Joe Burrow. It's gonna be Joe Burrow.
I think Burrow.
And then Chase gonna be number 2. I mean,
I think that ain't no. I don't think nothing changed. That's kind of
secret. Yeah, that's it.
You don't think no surprise is gonna come?
I think
nobody's gonna jump out there.
But I think the surprise is gonna come with the second quarterback pick, because it's going to be Tua. Yeah, it's going to be somebody else. I think that's what the surprise.
Yeah, now
if any comes in.
Right.
Okay,
I believe that.
I do not think it should be Tua. Should not be the second quarterback. That's just he's damaged good.
He's not going to be. I mean, on that one.
If Slim is healthy and cleared to go, somebody gonna take a chance on him from what he did at Alabama.
They would, even if he sit for a year. You know what I'm saying? That they will take it.
He's not gonna be a second quarterback pick though. No.
All right. So Wildcats podcast. Another subject. We're gonna change gears real quick. Teddy Riley. I gotta mention Teddy Riley real quick before we get up out of here. I gotta. We tried to get through, he had the big battle, him and Babyface. And, Teddy Riley is a world-renowned superstar, producer, engineer extraordinaire. I mean, this man must set up a stage, had a dancer, but he couldn't get his sound right. We got our sound right on our Zoomverse podcast right now, and he couldn't get his sound right. I mean, he had over 500,000 people watching that live, and Babyface was throwing shade, man. What y'all think?
But Craig, I saw something in the past that, if I'm not mistaken, that Teddy Riley was selling some of his equipment and he was going bankrupt. So he might have sold some pieces that he needed to make things operate. So
is it true? Is it true that he was charged? It was supposed to be like $10 a person or something, or?
No. I just
saw that it was like he was charging people and stuff.
No, that's what they doing now. They doing basically live concerts and stuff. But that was the most people probably viewing in, with 500 plus at that time.
I think the dude Tory Lanez beat him out.
Yeah, Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez had different content.
Different though, yeah.
He had better content.
He's serving a different demographic with him.
Exactly.
Shout out to Tory Lanez. Yeah.
Hey, Slim, but I'm tired of seeing all the DJ battles and all the challenges. It's like, come on, man. After the first couple of days or a week, it's just everybody doing it. It's just getting run in the ground. Like D-Nice he had a nice little run with the DJ playing all the music. But after a while, we got music in our phone and in our Apple Music where you can shuffle and get what you want.
But man, we're in a pandemic right now. Man, come on,
and they getting reintroduced to the public again. You know what I'm saying?
I can't even open my apps. I can't even open the app without a live popping up. And I'm looking at somebody live and just me and that person on the live. I'm like, Slim, I didn't mean to do this.
You just home. They gonna figure something out.
Hey, Keith, I'm gonna jump on something real quick. What you put out there in some of our topics, I'm tired of them damn TikTok, them challenges. I'm getting tired of that bullshit. All right, that's what's getting on my nerve. Every time we turn around, it's some dance, it's some that. Come on, man. Can we let that bullshit go? All right. So Rockcast Podcast. I'm gonna ask one more question before we get to the FIU Candidate of the Week. What is your biggest letdown in 2020? Was it the coronavirus, Teddy Riley versus Babyface, or no sports, or not being able to hang out with people?
Oh, that's a result. All of it's a result of the coronavirus.
All of the above. You ain't lying.
You got an all of the above choice. With the exception of Teddy Riley, I can give a fuck about Teddy Riley.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. All right. So this what you came here for. It's the FIU Candidate of the Week. If you don't understand what this is, it's called Fuck It Up University. The person that's really fucked up something in the last week, that really did something dumb, we give them an award. We actually give them a scholarship to the Fuck It Up University, and they get a free ride on us. And we got two candidates this week. We got Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil for telling people to go back to work and telling people we're going to die anyway, so why not sacrifice your health for the American economy? What type of bullshit is that?
Trump. Somebody paid him to say that shit.
Yeah, they're Fox correspondents and stuff. But go ahead, Al. I know you want to jump on this, Al. Go ahead, Al.
No, I was about to say, it's just that at this point, man, Fox paid those fools to say something. They pay anything to get on TV again. That's some crazy to say 2 or 3% of your kids gonna die. So in the United States, so it's gonna be it's all right. You'll win on the back end.
And Dr. Phil's not even a medical doctor and stuff. He's not even an MD.
No, he's not even practicing. He's not even practicing psychology. Nope. That man's just an actor right now.
Hey man. So Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz for telling people to go back to work. They are the FIU Candidates of the Week. Their paperwork has been filed. They're on full scholarship. They have been accepted. And what they're going to go into the health department?
Medical school. They need to go back to medical school. It's not a medical department, medical school.
I don't want them.
They need to finish their medical degree.
Right. I don't want to walk in their office then. Fuck that.
So y'all give it up for Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, FIU Candidates of the Week. One time. All right.
One time.
Hey, we appreciate y'all checking this out. Y'all can catch us live everywhere on the net. Keith, I know you want me to mention The Last Dance. The Last Dance goes down tonight.
You can talk about it next week.
All right, we're gonna recap that the first couple of episodes. On the next show, we're going to go through this whole Michael Jordan saga of that last NBA championship and how Michael just bitched his whole team. That's basically what it is.
Oh, hey.
Look, you know it's a hater coming.
Just watch the documentary and so we'll see if that's true.
They said Michael Jordan sat on that my documentary for about 10 years.
Yeah.
This dude, boy, trying to protect his image, bro.
That's cool, though.
Right, that's where it was, yeah.
I'm about to say timing is everything because Jordan doing this joint right during the pandemic. Timing is everything.
He wanted to wait till he got his billions and make sure he was a billionaire first.
This dude, boy. Make sure you check us out. Like I said, all over social media. We're at Some Wildcats on IG, Twitter, Facebook, and you can catch any of our episodes live on SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartMedia, and iTunes.
And Xfinity.
And Xfinity Live. Yep, you can. Yes, you can.
Hey, yeah, check out the finished version, man. We got our producer do a real good job of editing everything out and cleaning it up real good when we put out the regular versions during the week. So check us out when you get a chance.
Man, he just added more money to his pocket, didn't he?
All right. Yeah. We do it professionally over here. That's why.
Yeah. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate you, Keith.
Appreciate it. Put the extra on him.
Thanks a lot. Hey, until next time, thanks for checking us out. Once again, Some Wildcats Podcast being brought to you by the Burton and Craig Shields Foundation, bringing you Community Cuts for Kids 2020. We're still having it. Go to the CraigShieldsFoundation.org for all details. We need barbers, we need stylists, we need barbers. Y'all have a good one, and peace. We are out. Now, that was for the audio portion, okay? Now, we're still live on Facebook. And
at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 more minutes. All right. So I got some people's on our Facebook Live. Y'all see that as well? Some of y'all in there? We got
I'm in Facebook jail. I can't see nothing.
Nikki, the event planner, Mackenzie, says she's tired of those goddamn
challenges
as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got it. What's up, Pam? Got to shout out my big sister.
Shout out
Pam.
to JoJo. Shout out to BSU. Ed, I see you doing your DJ thing. Ed, Anthony White, Wildcats Forever. See you too, bro. Stay healthy.
What's up?
All right.
What's up, Ted? How you doing, Ted?
No,
yeah, my man Ted. From that roast.
I'm going to see the Jordan.
That dude going, he walking too.
Everybody get to the
TV right now.
Don't go to the bathroom. He going to the bathroom.
Oh, nah.
I'm going to turn this camera on.
Look, I'm going down in the theater room to watch MJ.
I'm about to go turn this camera on.
Yeah, man. But nah, that's all. That was all I pretty much had, man. I got a lot of good feedback from people with the comments and stuff today too.
Yeah, I see that. Shout out to my man, my cuz Roland Penny, checking us out all the way from Germany. He in Germany checking us out.
Okay,
what's up, bro?
Yeah, Roland.
Hey, Anthony White, we gonna get you on the show, man. We gonna get you on there.
Yeah,
man.
right. Yeah, Anthony got to get on here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And JoJo,
he got time on his hand right now.
JoJo, you got to holler at Craig so you can continue doing the community cuts for kids and stuff, man. So you've been a staple of that non-for-profit for a lot of years, and we want to keep that going and stuff.
Come on, JoJo runs Community Cuts for Kids DC. Yeah. It's her thing.
Run that stage.
Run that thing. Shout out to JoJo.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gents, I'm out.
Yeah. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all checking us out. Always visit our page, man. We here. Check out the podcast, Some Wildcats. Check out our IG page.
I took us off stream and stuff, so.
You took us off stream? Damn it.
Yeah.
Al said we was out. Al said we was out, so I cut it off and shit.
He cut it out.
No, Al said we were gone. Damn, Al really did leave.
All right, man. But look, I'm going to get my spot too, man. I'll holler at y'all, man.
All right,
Black, I'll send you the audio and the video as soon as they finish downloading and stuff. So
cool. Gotcha. All right, I'm out too. If I can figure out how to exit full screen.